Hello, pragmatic pastries. Professor Cynic here with the inaugural edition of CyniBytes, your source for games industry discourse. And what better way to start out a new segment than with a recap and some opinions on the always anticipated Nintendo Directs, this one occurring on September 13th, 2018. Something I find interesting about the Nintendo Directs is that Nintendo always finds a way to make this feel like a mini E3. They always come packing the heat. Can you imagine if Phil Spencer rolled out with a Microsoft Direct? What is he peddling? A new Sunset Overdrive? His time would be better spent driving a U-Haul to his dry cleaner to pick up all of his blazers. But let's get into the Nintendo Direct. Now, I'll start by saying that I'm not going to hit every piece of news from the Direct, but I'm going to touch on the bits of news that stood out to me. But, in the description of this video, you will find a list of the games and their release dates that were mentioned during the Direct. I will also include a link to the Direct so that you can watch it for yourself. I'd think it's swell if you watch and let me know what you think about the Direct in the comments below. Let's start a conversation. Now, from the top, Nintendo comes out swinging with the announcement of a new Luigi's Mansion. We didn't find out anything of substance about it. They rolled about a minute of gameplay and it looks like it will be structured similarly to the first Luigi's Mansion. The one question I have is, why did it take this long? I haven't looked at the sales figures for the original Luigi's Mansion, but at a minimum, I think it's safe to call Luigi's Mansion a cult hit, myself a part of that cult. I just wonder what the holdup was for this one. But nonetheless, we get another title with Green Mario at the helm. I'm looking forward to this one, coming to you in 2019. When the Switch was released, Nintendo urged the 3DS faithful that the system was not, in fact, dead, and that releases would continue for the 3DS. Keeping this promise, Nintendo announced a handful of 3DS games. One that caught my eye was Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey. That was a mouthful. I've got to be honest, it's the latter part of that title that has me interested. Bowser Jr.'s Journey looks like a game where you set up armies of Mario Land enemies and do battle. The brief gameplay that was shown reminded me of Heroes of Might and Magic, but with Mario. I'm not sure if any of the other Mario and Luigi RPG games have had that style of play, but if so, I've yet to play them. This game is hitting the shelves on January 11th, 2019. It seems improbable that Green Mario gets his own title in a Direct. Impossible to get two. But here we are, the original Luigi's Mansion is coming to the DS in a remake. This time around it has co-op. However, you can only play the co-op story if both players have the cartridge. This is definitely a title that may cause me to shake the dust off my 3DS when it comes out on October 12th, 2018. Now look, I know that Nintendo said that the 3DS isn't dead, but come on. We know that the Switch is going to draw a lot of their resources, and I think rightfully so. I think that the 3DS is in a perfect position right now to become a GameCube remaster machine. Give me Sunshine on the 3DS. Double Dash. Just throw every game you can from the GameCube onto the 3DS. You won't see me complaining. The way I see it, we probably won't be getting a lot of original titles for the 3DS anymore, so why not shift towards bringing some classics onto the system? However, I think it's more likely that we'll see some of these remakes on the Switch, and the 3DS will slowly fade away. Then Nintendo switched gears and focused on Switch games for the remainder of the Direct. Mega Man 11 was announced, due for stores on October 2nd, 2018. The gameplay they showed for this was fantastic. It looked wonderfully vibrant. It is a side-scroller. It looks like it maintains those platforming elements from the early Mega Man games. This pretty much looks like what Mighty No. 9 was going for. But because it's being released on the Switch and not funded via Kickstarter, I have a feeling this one won't shit the bed. One point that does have me a bit concerned, you can use the Mega Man amiibos to receive E-Tanks and other in-game items. If it stays at just amiibos, I guess it's pretty innocuous, though frustrating that those with amiibos will seemingly have an in-game advantage. My concern is that they would try selling you E-Tanks with an in-game currency or something like that. I'm keeping the faith that they won't go this route, but I will certainly stay alert. This is definitely a title I'm looking forward to. Mario Tennis Aces is getting a version 2 update on September 19th, 2018. I wrote a review for Aces, which you can read on my site, www.professorcynic.com. I absolutely panned the fucker. I did not hold back with my displeasure of Aces. And a big part of that came down to the fact that when playing custom matches, you could barely even refer to them as custom matches because the customization options were appallingly bad. I can only hope that this update addresses some of those concerns, though based on what Nintendo presented, I am not confident. They mentioned 4 new characters, which can only be unlocked if you play online, and limited time events to unlock in-game items like costumes. The game already has zilch for content. Just give us the costumes. Don't make us beg, Nintendo. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, coming out January 11th, 2019. I was never a big fan of this one. I love me some Mario side-scrolling action, but the new Mario Bros. Series just feels bland to me. It does say that all 164 courses will be available in this edition, but you can count me out for this repackaging. Nintendo Switch Online was discussed. Players can start this service on September 18th. They hit 5 major points during the Switch Online discussion. Front and center, this will be the way that you play most of your games online with your friends, much like Xbox Live and PSN. It was only a matter of time before Nintendo buckled and started charging for online. But I guess paid online is better than no online, right? Switch Online will include access to a library of Ness Games. Alright, Nintendo, alright. Thank you. I've been beating the table for this for so long. Either offer us a good way to buy Ness titles, or offer a subscription service for them. I would have preferred to purchase them outright, but hey, at least we're getting access. But in any case, this is something that I think will print money for Nintendo. Now, they could still fuck this up royally. There's still time for that, but I'm hopeful this will be a good service. And they did mention it will feature a, quote, growing library of games. So we'll have to sit tight and see what those will be, but Nintendo is making it clear that they want to add to the library. Switch Online has a smartphone app, which you can voice chat through. I am so done with Nintendo's solution for online chat that I didn't even bother to research why this is any different than the current voice app they have. This is so incredibly stupid, Nintendo. Let us use fucking headsets. I have nothing else to say about that. We will finally be getting cloud saves, but it already sounds like there's a hullabaloo surrounding that, but I think that that's a topic that may warrant an episode of its own. And they mentioned ambiguous special offers. I'm doing quotey fingers that you can't see. And they also showed us pricing plans. At a 1-year subscription, it's $20, so it makes it the most affordable service of the big 3 companies. However, one could say you're paying for quality if you can't use a headset. Anyway, on to our next item, but still related to Switch Online. Nintendo is offering a wireless NES Controller pack for Switch Online members only. These will be available for pre-order on September 18th for $59.99. I think it's brilliant. I love it. If Nintendo can provide an expansive library of NES games with a Bluetooth NES controller, it might make me forget about the cluster that was the NES and SNES mini releases. A new Mario Party game is coming out October 5th, 2018. We knew this already, but Nintendo expanded a bit on the details. There will be 80 all-new minigames. There will be a single-player mode. But perhaps what excites me the most is that we're getting the traditional board game mode back. I really dislike the format of the last few Mario parties. I'm just not a big fan of sharing a cart with all of the players. There was something so fun about the earlier Mario parties, getting to play a Mario board game, trying to fuck over your friends and take away their stars. I think it's a well-needed return to roots. I do want to say, though, I give Nintendo credit for trying to mix things up with the last few Mario parties, but it just didn't work. Let's retreat to what we know works. An assload of Final Fantasy titles are coming to Switch, but one in particular, drumroll please, Final Fantasy VII. I think the last time I fully played Final Fantasy VII was back in the 90s, and I have no idea when the full remake is coming for PS4, so I think I'm ready to give it another crack. And on a portable console, all the better. Nintendo started out strong in the Direct and ended strong too, announcing that Isabelle from Animal Crossing will be in Smash. No, I'm just f***ing with you. They closed with an announcement for a new Animal Crossing for Switch. Although Isabelle is actually going to be in Smash. I don't know if I'm the minority here, but I don't see Isabelle as a necessary entry into Smash. Here's an interesting anecdote for you on Isabelle's popularity. I like to walk past the video game section anytime I'm in Target, and naturally, I check out the amiibos. When the Animal Crossing amiibos were released, I noticed that there was always an abundance of Isabelle figures, because seemingly no one was buying them. Eventually, there was an entire end cap with a shrine of Isabelle amiibos, all marked down to sell. And then a few months later, I saw all of those clearanced Isabelles in Goodwill. So yeah, put her in Smash. There definitely isn't any other Nintendo characters that are more deserving and popular. But, on to Animal Crossing. The game was announced, and that was about it. It was Tom Nook sitting at a computer, cracks a joke about Isabelle being in Smash, presumably because he can't believe it either, and then we are informed it'll release sometime in 2019. Now, I'm a big fan of Animal Crossing. I'll be picking this one up. However, I really hope that they add a bit of spice to the series. Now look, there's nothing wrong with the base formula Animal Crossing employs. Do everything you can to earn bells so you can upgrade your home, fill it with knickknacks, and leisurely amble throughout your town. I play Animal Crossing much like I do Stardew Valley, as a way to relax. But I think the formula is getting a bit stretched. To my mind, there wasn't much difference between the Animal Crossing games, and I'm not including Home Designer in the camping one. I just hope that, I don't know, maybe in addition to the things we like about Animal Crossing, they might include some objective-based content. Make it optional so that those who want to just amble around can do so, but for those of us who want a little more out of the game, we can have that too. I'd like to hear your opinions on that point. Do you think Animal Crossing needs a little spark to the formula, or should they just stay to the tried and true? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, the full listing of games mentioned in the Direct is in the description below. And if you want to hear updates from yours truly, might I recommend you follow me on Twitter at Professor_Cynic. Well, that's CyniBytes for you. You've been given the sticky. As always, I remind you to stay cynical.